Thursday on the BFF report, Mike B, aka Phony, covered DC Universe Online. Basically, what happened was Mike hit some really harsh technical difficulties with DCUO. What kind of issues were you having at the time?
So there was this really strange issue where all the mobs in the game were just like randomly teleporting around.
The episode where you guys released this on the 6th at 10 a.m. John Smedley, CEO of Sony Online Entertainment, basically contacted you directly.
He contacts me, and at first it was a conference call. I was unaware that he was going to be on the call. And I'm downstairs with a big old, big gulp of Mountain Dew, right? And I'm like, yeah. I'm just going to go upstairs. And I'm wearing my awesome, comfy slippers. You know, the slippers that don't, strap around the backside. There's a lot of things I'm doing. I'm drinking Mountain Dew, talking on the phone, and walking upstairs in my big, oversized, woolly, comfortable slippers. And what happens? Smedley's like, oh, by the way, Mike, I'm here on the call also. I want to let you know, my name is John Smedley, CEO of Sony Online Entertainment. Nice to meet you. And instantly, my shoe gets caught on the stair, and my Mountain Dew falls out of my hand. It's all like, John Smedley! And that was it. It just fell, and it doesn't fall like sideways, right, where I could catch it. It did this whole complete upside down 180 face first, and the lid flies off for whatever reason. It's just all I'm out too.
There goes your big gulp.
That was the end. He said that they tried everything, and only under the most extreme circumstances that don't exist in real life were they able to duplicate my issue. There's no way these things could happen. And so I was like, okay, so now what? He's like, well, let's just wait until launch. We'll get you a launch copy, a key or something. That way you can kind of check it out and to see if it's in the launch copy, because they made some changes to the code, and maybe it just fixed itself. So come launch, I hit him up. He replies immediately saying, we actually did get 10 reports, right? 10 reports. Of
10, not 10,000, not 10 million, 10. So after the ultra rare issue, they give you your key, they write a hotfix for it, and the game works flawlessly for you, basically.
Yeah, loaded up. The whole thing loaded just fine. Got into the game, busted through character creation, made an awesome superhero, of course.
Oh, you suckers gather round. There's a brand new movie coming to town. So get on up and check the scene of the smoothest, baddest mother to ever hit the big screen. Black stack, attacking max. Backtrack, slapjack, boot flat, flashback, ram sack, jam packing, steel coming back. See where I'm coming from, you die.
So I am in, and it works beautifully. I'm doing my first set of quests, which require me to turn innocent college kids into zombies on behalf of my mentor, Lex Luthor. And things are going great. I quickly learned, though, that I'm not as super as I'd expected. I got my stuff handed to me quite often, and not just by NPCs, but also by this jerky who's almost twice my level and ganking all of us crybabies who QQ about being ganked after voluntarily rolling on a PvP server as if it gives you some kind of E-cred. Once you get everything dialed in, DCUO plays and handles a lot like Arkham Asylum, and regardless of whether you're using a mouse or a controller, the game has a straight-up console feel to it. Now, this could be a good thing for those of you console gamers who don't own a PS3 and are dying to live out your latex fantasies in a virtual space. But it also works against it, as the UI can feel a little bulbous and clunky. And we won't even go into how badly the chat system needs work. All everybody does is shout all day. And the baffling thing about the whole console look and feel is that you don't get to actually play on the same servers as the PS3 gamers. One small thing, though, would make a world of difference is a scalable UI. I'm not talking about this nonsense here for people on crappy TVs. I need something that will get this ridiculously obese chat window full of people making absurd comparisons of this superhero action game to World of Warcraft out of my face. And maybe make the action bar a little bit smaller. I guess what I'm trying to say is I need more action and less interface. How's that? The missions are about what you would expect from a typical MMO, except at least SOE took the effort to glaze over some of them with a bit of theatrical purpose. Take, for example, this story mission where a parasite needs to feed in order to take on Power Girl, and you are tasked with feeding him college kids. Hungry. When in reality, all you're really doing is killing X amount of Y, but at least there is this interactive story arc that's in your face pushing you to continue. Now, knowing that I was about to fight Power Girl, Superman's cousin, I felt rather ill-prepared. But being a seasoned MMO and action game veteran, I was certain that I would find a way to complete my mission. Once all the chaos and destruction concedes, they hit you with a pretty slick cutscene.
Power. If you've got it, flaunt it. 'Cause sometimes it just feels good to hit something.
Now that Power Girl is out of the picture, it's time to set our sights on one of Brainiac's henchwomen, Queen Bee. You do a series of missions where you're tasked with disabling her defenses and gathering intel outside of her hideout, and then you work your way inside the base where you slowly make your way through various rooms leading up to the Queen herself.
The hive mind has been breached. Overriding directive. Bring the exobytes to Brainiac. Bring the exobytes
to Brainiac! Guards! Protect your queen with your lives!
Now this fight actually had depth, and it took me a little over 5 minutes to complete. But there's reason for that, and let me explain it step by step here. The first thing I did was use one of my chargeable powers that consists of an AoE fire effect, and this did pretty good at getting her down to about 60%, where she switched to a don't stand on the thing that hurts you phase. In between these, she mixes it up with a ranged attack and then punches to the face. And at this point, I'm getting her pretty low. And then I get cocky. Now remember, this fight took just over 5 minutes, and I just recapped the first 45 seconds. This is pretty much me the rest of the fight. Once again, my advanced strategies bring swift victory, and we are treated with another cutscene.
From many, one. One mind. One goal. One queen.
So they have a system called alerts, which is pretty much a dungeon finder feature or repeatable instance objective-based co-op experience for you picky non-fantasy gamers. It's set up in waves. The first feels like it's straight out of Left 4 Dead, where you are trapped on a rooftop fighting off waves of cyborgs below. Your objective here is to enable 25 EMPs and to disable the surrounding mobs. I found that the super speed travel ability actually comes in pretty handy here. At the end of each wave, there's a mini-boss. It does this dramatic, pan shot on him and his name and all that stuff, which does its job in letting us know that, hey, there's an important mob here, we should probably focus on him so we can move on to the next area. Now, for each area you clear, you get an opportunity to roll on some loot, and since I'm never going to see these guys again, I roll need. Sure, what is this, a bracelet? Why not? The areas that follow have their own objectives. Some of them are, oh snap, Regulator Zeta, oh yeah. Yeah, so some of them require the group to defend an MP... Okay. Yeah, Regulator Zeta, alright, kinda knew that already. So, protect the NPCs from waves of... Okay, wow, we get it. Thank you, Regulator Zeta, yes. I was able to get into one game of actual PvP. It was a resource-based game where the objective was to simply cap various nodes and protect them to win. And with all these crazy superpowers and travel abilities, it made for some pretty fast and intense fights. At this point, it's hard to tell if any particular power is OP, and not because the game is new or anything, but because, we're level 10. But overall, it was fun. And once I was finished with everything, I felt the need to do some ganking. I seriously needed to do some ganking. It just happened to come across this poster that offered a mission whose objective was to kill 5 new recruits. It's a quest that insists that you kill lobies. And that is exactly what I did. I made these guys' lives miserable for at least 3.5 minutes. And what a glorious 3.5 minutes it was. After getting in a few bonus kills, I head back to claim my prize. 2 cans of soda. That's right. Those guys hate life right now, and I'm sure one of them actually kicked a puppy. All to net me 2 cans of soda. I love it.